Well, good day, folks. Hang on. Let me figure out what day it is. Good day. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Sunday, April 23, 2023 on our planet. I hope you're doing well. I can imagine quite a few are not. Let's go through everything, shall we? So my space weather app on my phone notified me of dangerous level geomagnetic storm conditions hitting our planet, reaching KP9, which is a G5 extreme conditions. Now, apparently, the last time we reached this level was in 1859, September, the Carrington event. There may have been a few other times. Now, the Carrington level event may have been a long-term sustained impact. Now, I understand that there's different apps out there, just as there's different reporting agencies, and there's going to be conflicting reports as the data comes in, and indeed some of it even suppressed, hidden, downgraded. Just like there's going to be a number of YouTubers out there given their own personal versions based on their assumptions. Just like me. I give you the facts as I see them and how I see the earth and people responded. Now, I do have some advice. If you want to follow one person who has actual credentials, who is a very well-respected lady, that is Tamitha Skov, S-K-O-V, otherwise known as the Space Weather Woman. So she is an actual space weather physicist, research scientist at the Aerospace Corporation, and professor with credentials holding a bachelor's degree, master's in geophysics and planetary physics, and PhD in planetary physics and space physics. The smart lady can back up who she says she is with credentials, unlike other people who claim to be scientists and astrophysicists with absolutely no credentials whatsoever. Anyway, if you want someone reputable to follow up what I and any other YouTuber says, I highly recommend the Space Weather Woman's information. She hasn't put anything out as of yet. I'm quite sure she will. Anyway, the intense levels of geomagnetic storm instabilities that hit our planet are measured from intensity from G1 to G5. So G1 is a minor geomagnetic storm conditions. G2 is moderate. G3 is strong. G4, which we are under right now, is severe. And G5, of course, which is extreme. Now, there's important things here, folks. Only a G2 level moderate was forecasted. Now, folks, the brunt of the plasma density of this coronal mass ejection didn't hit us. We got hit with the CME, yes, but not the full density. We got sideswiped. So this tells us one very, very important, critical, and scary thing for us. It tells us what the government is not going to tell us. And that is just how much strength has our protective magnetosphere lost because of the geomagnetic excursion. Now, so this is what we're going to be watching this evening and for the next, I don't know, 72 hours maybe. First, we're going to see how low the northern lights, the aurora, are going to be reaching. That's going to give us one indication just how weak our magnetosphere is. So I would like to receive any comments, pictures from you good folk from around the world, and the colors of the aurora. Next, let's pay attention for the temporary suspension of air travel in the upper latitudes. I was reading something highly suspicious that Russia has now closed off its airspace to international travel because of what's going on. Now, I actually did a video on this quite a while ago, anyway. International flights from, say, the west coast of Canada, Vancouver, used to go up the coast of British Columbia to Alaska, coming along Russian airspace, coming on back down China's airspace, and then switching over at, say, Taiwan or Hong Kong. Well, that's been closed off now. I wonder if there's some other reason, really. Now, I'm not going to give you fancy graphics because some of them are actually falsified. I'm going to give you a talk about what just happened and what's going to be happening. Now, some of you YouTubers out there are going to falsify things as the aurora prediction. No one knows yet. Okay, I don't do these things. Anyway. Things we're going to be watching out for is the effect of the penetrating, highly charged particles, the cosmic rays, or rather the secondary showering particles. So when a cosmic ray comes in, when it penetrates our atmosphere, it interacts with the atmospheric atoms, creating a secondary showering particles called muons. A number of things happen. Let's go through them again. Now, these are all my own personal research notes. It's not plagiarism on anyone else. I spend a lot of time, a lot of dedication myself. Several things happen on the human body and animals. There'll be a lot of barking dogs tonight in your neighborhood. There we are. Anyway. First, on the human brain, the neurological and neuropsychological effects of the highly charged particles on the brain. Oops, one moment. You know, most of the stuff is in my brain, but I do have to do a couple of notes. First, the neuropsychological effects. The cognitive deficits or impairments. Now, first of all, your cognitive function. I'm well versed in this because I have an autistic daughter. Your cognitive function is the process of reasoning, paying attention, perception, problem solving, and decision making. All these things can be affected by geomagnetic storms to some degree. Now, the impairment of changes can make people irritable, moody, argumentative, irrational. There can be acts of aggression, rage, violence, increased depression and anxiety. Those who already have those conditions, they are amplified. There can be suicidal thoughts, and people will actually go through the process of planning how they're going to commit suicide, and unfortunately, some do. There are increased admissions, psych admissions into hospitals. I've had a lot of personal experience in that, having worked in a hospital a few centuries ago. And as I keep on reminding people, folks, please pay attention and take care of any loved ones, especially children who have any ASD, autistic spectrum disorders, OCD, ADHD, schizophrenia, delusions. These storms can also trigger psychosis, psychotic events, extreme rage and violence. The most loving child can switch. They can destroy things. They can put their heads through drywall. They can kick out doors. They can smash things. You know what the best medicine is? There's a whole bunch of things you can do, but the best thing is love. All right? Knowledge is also very important. And you know what? Depending on the age of your child, you tell them as well. I told my daughter, I says, I got to do an important video, man. This just happened. She understands. Don't know what kind of a night I'm going to be. But... Okay, next, neurological responses. The neurological is what's something you can feel. Increased headaches, migraines, including those people not predisposed to migraines or migraine-like pain. Dizziness, vertigo, tinnitus, ringing in the ear. People who have tumors on their brains or brainstem. Tinnitus. So between now and the next at least 24 hours, think twice about climbing a ladder to do any work, operate any dangerous machinery. Don't drive if you don't have to drive. Okay, remember that cognitive function is going to be impaired. Other things that's going to happen. People with arthritis, arthritic flare-ups, MS, multiple sclerosis. Please watch people with any cardiac conditions closely. Keep them at rest. Do not allow them to exert themselves. Monitor them closely, more so than you normally would. That includes any children with autism or related mental health condition. So some of you right now are feeling the frontal lobe compression maybe pain behind the eyes, maybe a temporal stabbing pain. I am slightly, but I developed migraines shortly after birth, so I know how to handle it. So next, let's get on to what's going to happen to our planet, what is expected to happen. And this is going to prompt me to do a more serious video later on tonight. I've been holding off on it. As if what's happening under our feet is not concerning enough. So those of you who are new, those highly charged particles, some can penetrate the Earth's crust and interact with the silica-rich magma down below, causing what's called bubble nucleation. So I want you to try and visualize this analogy. If you take a pot of thick pea soup and you put it on your stove, that pea soup is the magma. You turn up the heat slowly, as the penetrating highly charged particles will do. That soup is going to bubble up and bubble up and bubble up and boil over the pot. Remember, folks, mantle plumes are anchored to the outer core of our planet where a magnetic field is generated to. You have the mantle tail, the plume head, which can expand to thousands of kilometers in diameters. They can have branches, arms, nodes, pushing up underneath the lithosphere of our planet in which our crust sits upon. That bubbling over pea soup is going to come up. It's going to cause two things. Obviously, it's going to cause an increase in volcanism, as if we don't have enough already. And that rising magma energy is going to cause earthquakes. Therefore, between now, or let's say between 8 hours and 72 hours, I will guarantee you an increase in deep earthquakes, as if we don't already have them. We are going to see an increase in volcanism. No, I don't know where yet. Let's watch our jet streams for the next 24 hours, let's say. Pay attention to your military. Any changes? Pay attention to your government officials. Are they still where they should be? Our magnetosphere is weakened severely. And this event, whether it's a G4 or a G5, is a serious sign of just how weak it is from a coronal mass ejection, where, yes, we did get hit, but the most densest part of the CME just missed us. So I think I'm going to leave it up here for now. Again, pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your loved ones under your care, pay attention to your children. Neuropsychological responses, moods. Try and keep your temper under control and in check. Try and give your wife or your husband and your children extra hugs. Come on in there, buddy. So, hey, Tally, it's all right.
Do you have more of these pots?
I do. I'll find them in a minute, okay?
Okay, because I really like them.
I like them too. Give me a few minutes, all right?
Okay.
Love you, sweetie.
Bye.
Bye. It's my daughter planting flowers. I'll be back later on tonight, folks. See ya.